What's going on, everyone? It's Corey here from the Break Evens, giving you another FPL video today. And as you can see from the title, today's video will be a Mo Salah and an Erling Haaland draft. Something I have been looking to try and fit both in, because I think if you can fit both in, you've got pretty good captain chances very early on. Obviously, 27.5 mil to have both in, which is a quarter of your budget, which is pretty tough. So you have to find 13 players for another 75k, which can be quite tough with pricing. But I think I have found at this stage my favorite Salah and Haaland draft. So let's get into the team. But just sorry, before we do that, don't forget you can find us on at Twitter/X at BreakEvensPod and on Facebook, the Break Evens. Make sure you like, follow, and you subscribe to our YouTube channel here for all Supercoach and FPL content. So without further ado, let's get into the side, which I'm really excited about. So let's go. All right, so here we have it. Now, just to note, there is 0.5 mil left in the bank. So I've created this team and I've got 0.5 mil left just because I'm a bit uncertain about the goalkeeper spot at the moment and where I want to go. So, but we will go through that. Now, as you can see, Henderson is my first pick. He's 4.5 mil. So why have I gone to Henderson? Well, Crystal Palace have decent fixtures early. If I look at this here, they have a rating of 64 for the first 6 weeks. So some good fixtures. They were very good defensively last season. And it's between Henderson and Johnston for the starting goalkeeper. They're both 4.5 mil, which is great. So basically, whoever starts out of those two will be my 4.5 going forward. But if I'm not happy with that, then I can go up to a 5 mil goalkeeper if possible. So that's what that 0.5 mil is for, to be able to go to, let's say, a Pickford. So right now, Henderson, could be Johnston, could be Pickford, but I've got the money in the bank for that. So Henderson starts there. We'll move towards our defenders now. Mostly budget here. So we got Gvardiol first at 6 mil. I think he's a must-have, playing left back. But as we know, that is basically him playing left midfield. He pushes so far up, guaranteed to start, guaranteed minutes. And apart from the Chelsea game, which is supposed to be tough, even though, unfortunately, Celtic scored, what was it, 4 or 5 against us the other day, which isn't great, and showing cracks early in that Chelsea defense. And with Palmer potentially not starting, because he's been at the Euros, there's potential he might miss the first game. But seeing he's our only player at the moment, he probably will play, but attacking threat isn't quite there for Chelsea at the moment. So I think Gvardiol is there for assist points, clean sheet points. You could almost back him in for 90 minutes. And is a chance from corners. So I think he is the best defensive option if you go on those premiums, especially early, as Man City have a pretty easy first 6. So you got Chelsea in the first game, and then basically they have a clean run. So Gvardiol is good to go there. Now, at the moment, I do have Anderson here from Crystal Palace. I spoke about it with Henderson. They were very good defensively last season. And he is an attacking threat. He likes to push up, get those balls in. He's not afraid to have a shot if it's there. but he is the best, in my opinion, Crystal Palace defensive option. I don't know if I will go double Crystal Palace. So if I have Henderson there, pardon me, if I have Henderson there, I probably will move off Anderson. But at the moment, I've done some research on the first 8 game weeks and what my defensive rotation could be. So I'll get into that later. So if you want to know 3 good defensive rotations, especially at those cheaper price players, stay for the end of the video. But I'm happy with Anderson there for now. Mykolenko for Everton. Again, if I have Pickford, do I want to double up on Everton? Not quite sure. But super attacking, super nailed on, which means he's going to play every game when he's fit. He likes to push up, get those balls in. Everton, pretty good defensively at the end of last season as well. So we could see some clean sheet points. And looking at Everton's run, it is a tough start, the first couple. But we definitely could see some clean sheets there. So look, I'm going to back him in. He works for my defensive rotation, so that's the main thing. So that's how my defense is looking at the moment. Henderson, Gvardiol, Anderson, and Mykolenko. As now we'll move towards the midfield. So I'll start with the most expensive. I don't know why he's on the far right, but Mo Salah. Liverpool have the easiest fixtures in the first 6 weeks. They have an overall fixture rating of 88. As we can see, Ipswich up first. So he's going to be my captain. 12.5. As I said in previous videos, Arne Slot likes to play inverted wingers. Where Salah used to push out towards the wings. He'd find himself a bit too wide and not much of a goal threat, especially last season. So we saw a big change on penalties, on free kicks. He likes to shoot. And with bonus points, you get more points for shots on target now. If you can get a few on target, he's going to get some more bonus points or opportunities for bonus points. So I think Mo Salah, again, this is a Salah and a Haaland draft, so he has to be in there anyway, but I still think he's worth the 12.5. And Cuckoo is up next. Basically, the Chelsea manager has come out and said Cuckoo can play any position. It could be wing, could be the number 10, could be the 9 up front. Has scored in both practice games, was on penalties. With Palmer back in the side, he probably won't take penalties unless Palmer is off the pitch. But nonetheless, I think he's a great budget option at 6.5 mil. So if he stays fit, I think he should be locked into most people's sides. Gordon, 7.5. So if you saw my last team reveal, Foden's gone. So Gordon at 7.5. I just love the Newcastle fixtures for attackers. Not a huge fan of them for defenders, but Dan Burn is there potentially. But I think Gordon playing on that left side can play through the middle, likes to cut in, take shots, assists. You got Isaac up front. So if the ball goes to Isaac, he's a good chance of finishing. I think it's a no-brainer. I think Gordon needs to be in that side. And at 7 mil, you have Eze, which again, another Crystal Palace. So 3 Crystal Palace players right now. Makes me sort of think one of them has to go, if that's Henderson or Anderson. But Eze, the main man for Crystal Palace, is going to get those passes through to Mateta. He's on pens. He's on corners. He's on free kicks. So he is an attacking threat. And at 7 mil, I think he's a little bit unders. So if he stays at Crystal Palace, because there are rumours potentially he might be looking elsewhere. If he stays at Crystal Palace, I think Eze is a great shout, and that 7 mil almost becomes essential. But you can also fade him due to their fixtures. So that is the midfield. What do you think so far? I think it's pretty template. But here's where things get interesting. So we'll move to the forwards. And there he is, Erling Haaland at 15 mil. Absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Chelsea up first. As I said with Gvardiol, the Chelsea defense is not looking strong at the moment. They're still trying to figure each other out. With Thiago Silva out of there, they're trying to find someone who can marshal the troops. I just think if Haaland can score in this Chelsea game, he then has 5 really good fixtures after that. It's going to be tough to miss out if you don't have Haaland. It's the same with Salah. If you want one of them, you're going to miss out on the easiest fixtures if you don't go Salah. And then you're going to miss out on the second easiest fixtures with Man City if you don't have Haaland. That is why I am trying to fit both in. Obviously, injuries will happen. That's the way of the game. It's bound to happen. So we might need changes there. If Gordon or maybe an Anderson gets injured, you got to look elsewhere. If Gvardiol gets injured, actually, if Gvardiol gets injured, then you have to go, okay, Salah or Haaland, they're the only 2 players in this side that I can get money from, so I can upgrade to like an Arsenal defender that's a bit more, or a Trent Alexander-Arnold. So I think starting both is the way to go. It's very aggressive. Yes, there's no Foden, Saka, or Palmer. I don't care. I'm starting these 2. I think they're must-haves, and they're captain options basically for the first 8 to 9 rounds, game weeks. So Haaland is in at 15 mil. Next is Wood. Absolutely dominated from Nottingham Forest in pre-season. When he starts, he usually scores. There was a stat, I think he had a goal rating of 1.43 or something last season when he started. So when he starts games, he scores. Nottingham Forest are looking to improve. You got the likes of Gibbs White, Hudson-Odoi, who are looking really threatening at the moment to give the ball through to Wood, and he's almost a sure thing. So Wood is in at 6 mil. And then Isak, I touched on him a bit before with Gordon. Critical finisher. Now you got the likes of Gordon there who's going to pass the ball through to him. He can also assist himself. He's a big attacking threat. Some easy fixtures early, and then they start to get a bit tougher towards game week 6. So at 8 mil, with not much other options there. Obviously, you have Havertz at 8.5, but what I'm hearing is Gabriel Jesus is looking strong. So does Havertz drop to a 10 instead of the 9? You got Watkins at 9 mil. Do you want him in? But with this team, how are you going to fit them all in? Not quite sure. So Isak, for me, he's been in every team that I've created so far this preseason. So I think he is a must-have. So that is the on-field. So let's get to the subs where things get a little interesting. So here are the subs. So I've got Paulson here, 4 million goalkeeper. The reason I have him, purely he's 4 mil. He's not very highly owned. So if you don't know how FPL works, the higher the ownership, um, the higher their price generation is. But when you start to trade out players, they can lose money. So at 4 mil, Paulson there. If you go like a Turner, who's very popular at the moment, if you go a Turner, and then after 3 to 4 weeks, everyone starts to trade him out, then he's going to go from 4 mil to 3.9, then to 3.8, and you are losing money. So I think Paulson is someone who not a lot of people will be looking at. So I think he's going to keep that 4 mil. So he won't be losing any team value there. So he's strictly in there for that. If my goalkeepers get injured, just gonna swap him out for someone else. Simple as that. I have Robinson there in defense. From Fulham, 4.5, really attacking. Sure thing. He's nailed on. Fulham, they have okay fixtures. They're middle ground. You know, they obviously against Manchester United up first is a tough one, but then after that it gets a bit easy for a couple of games, then a hard one, and then it just mixes and matches. So he's purely there because I think Fulham are pretty solid defensively. Again, another team looking to improve, and I think he has some attacking threat because he likes to get up the ground and cross that ball in. So you have him there. Winks for Leicester. Basically, he's 4.5 mil, the lowest you can get in the midfield, and he's basically nailed on to start. So if you need a midfielder, he's going to come on. He's going to score you 1 to 2 points, nice and safe there. But I'm hoping that midfield with Eze, Gordon, and Cuckoo and Salah can stay healthy. But he's purely there just if they're out for possibly one game week, comes in, gets me 2 points, straight back out. Not much to say on him now. Something to say about this man, Barco. I have some stats on him, so let me get those up. So Valentin Barco, 4.0 mil defender for Brighton. Basically, it's Stupinian, who is the usual left back. He's out until late September, so he's out for the first month and a half. And in preseason, Barco has taken his spot and he has looked great. He's been taking set pieces in preseason, so he's been on corners. I'm not sure if he's taken any free kicks, but I know he's on corners with Solly March, who is also injured. Again, he might be on free kicks. He's been looking good. He's gotten a few assists. If you are looking at doing a Haaland and Salah draft like I am, he could be the one you need. 4 mil, has good rotations, good fixtures, could score you points, and at 4 mil could be a great cheap option. He plays Ipswich and Nottingham Forest in game week 4 and 5, which are 2 easy fixtures, so you could play him there. He's 5.4% owned, and it could be potentially the best $4 million option that we have. Now, I did say, I'll just put that aside. I did say I had some notes on my defense. So I'm going to quickly go through that before I end the video. So basically, you look at my defense. Gavardiol is playing every week. Okay. Hands down, is playing every week. He is my My premium defender. So he's playing every week. So I need 2 other defenders because I want to play that 3-4-3. So let me actually zoom out a little bit to there. So he is my premium defender. So game week 1. If I get these fixtures up, where are my fixtures? Here. All right, so Gvardiol has Chelsea. We know that. Anderson has Brentford. And Mikolenko has Brighton. So looking at the, I guess, the fixture rating, the best options are to go Anderson, Mikolenko, and Gvardiol. They're the best options to go. They have, if we check here, go information, you see it's a green fixture. Simple. Okay. Now what I would actually do is I'd go in probably like that. So those would be my starting 3 for the first game week. We move to game week 2. Gvardiol stays. He has Ipswich. No, not Ipswich. He has. Oh yeah, it is Ipswich. I was right. All right, you go Anderson, Crystal Palace, who have West Ham, and then Mikolenko will be subbed for Robinson because Fulham have Leicester, a newly promoted side. So my game week 2 team would look like this. Pretty good. Happy with that. We go to game week 3. Now, this is the tough one because I have 4 good options here. So Gvardiol's there. Who does Gvardiol have? West Ham United. Anderson, game week 3, have Chelsea. Now, Chelsea could leak points there. Could be an option. Make sure I've got that right. Yeah. What did I put 3? I actually got that wrong. It was supposed to be 4. So let me change that on my sheet. So actually, he should be here. Right. So Anderson will actually come out in game week 3 for Mikolenko because Mikolenko has Bournemouth game week 3. And Robinson will stay in because he has Ipswich. So I've got, again, 3 good fixtures there. Now, this is where I won't be able to show you going forward, but I have the picture here. So game week 4, Manchester City, so Gvardiol has Brentford, which is, again, an easy fixture. Anderson for Crystal Palace has Leicester, which is, again, an easy fixture. Barco comes into play here, game week 4, who has Ipswich. And then the last one is Robinson, who comes in and has West Ham United. So my early thoughts is if Estupinian isn't back, I would start Gvardiol, Mikolenko, Barco, and have Robinson there just in case. Just in case someone else here doesn't play, is a late change, he can come in. Fulham have West Ham United, who are an easy fixture. Now, out of Ipswich, Leicester, and Brentford, I think they're easier fixtures than West Ham. So that's why I've gone there. Brentford are or can be a good defensive side, but Gvardiol's there. He's not moving. So I'm 4 weeks through, and I have 3 defenders in each game week. Now, game week 5, Gvardiol's there because Manchester City have Arsenal. So I could actually bench Gvardiol here, or what I could do is I could swap him for potentially a Chelsea, an Aston Villa. Who else? Probably those two teams. I could probably swap them there. So game week 5, Gvardiol would take the punt, or I could move him to someone else. If Reece James is doing well, straight to him. Because in game week 5, Chelsea have West Ham. Or what was the other team? Aston Villa could go to a concert potentially. So, and save some money there. So he's there. But in game week 5, you have Barco and Mikolenko. So Bournemouth in game week 5 have Nottingham Forest, which is supposed to be an easy fixture. I've got Chris Wood there who could bang in a goal. And then I have Mikolenko, Everton, who have Leicester. And because Robinson has, where's Fulham, Newcastle, so a bit tougher there. So Mikolenko, Barco, definitely there. Crystal Palace has Man United. So really it's, do I think Anderson will do better against United? Do I think Gvardiol will do better against Arsenal, who are a tough team to score against, and could be a tough team to defend? So that's the hardest week for me at the moment. Now, if I go to game week 6, I am looking at going Gvardiol because once again, Man City have Newcastle. What I could do here is swap him for Gabriel from Arsenal, because in game week 6, Arsenal, their fixtures change a little. They have Leicester in 6, Southampton in 7, and Bournemouth in 8. So I could do a sneaky there and go an Arsenal defender, which I'm sort of liking. Could be a Gabriel or a Saliba there. So keep an eye on that. But in terms of these cheaper guys, Mikolenko again in 6 has Crystal Palace, and Robinson, who would come in for Barco, right there, because Fulham have Nottingham Forest, and again, a great fixture. So these two will be there. Could be Gabriel or Saliba there. In game week 7, I would have, if it's Gvardiol or if it's one of the Arsenal boys, they would be there. Now, this is where other things change here for me. At the moment, I haven't made any changes. I'm happy. No one's injured. I could have 5 free transfers. So in game week 7, I could look at Brentford because their fixtures open up. I probably wouldn't look at Chelsea. I could look at possibly Ipswich with Leif Davis, as they have a few good fixtures. I've already got Mikolenko. I could, yeah, Ipswich there. Leicester, I probably wouldn't touch Leicester. Man City again. Gvardiol could come back because after that, after those 2 tough games, they have Fulham, Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth, and Brighton. Could look there. Could also look at Nottingham Forest for a few weeks, or Tottenham. So I have options. I have options. Around then, what are Liverpool's fixtures like? Yeah. So this is where things will get tough because I'm going to have to potentially pay up for someone. So this is where I could get a little stuck. But the good thing is I have Salah, Haaland there. But for the first 6 game weeks, I have 3 defenders in that rotation. And if I stick with everyone and just go, you know what, I'm going to back these guys in game week 8, I'll have Gvardiol, Mikolenko, and Anderson. So, yeah, it's at the moment, this is my favorite team for a Salah and Haaland draft. Again, I have 0.5 mil, so Henderson could become a Pickford. Actually, let's quickly have a look. Let's go to transfers and have a look at the 5 mil goalkeepers. So we will go on the side, go by goalkeepers, and we will go by price. So 5 mil, Martinez for Aston Villa have good fixtures, could go Martinez. Pickford have good fixtures. Fulham have good starting fixtures for the first 6 weeks. I could go a Leno. Onana, I'm not touching. Pope is a big one. So Newcastle has Southampton, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Wolves, Fulham before they play Man City. So Pope could be an option and could be a way into that Newcastle defense. Vicario, I'm not touching any Tottenham, and no, it's not because I go for Chelsea. I just don't like any of their picks at the moment. They do have a young guy in the midfield who could step up and be a Winks replacement. But that's pretty much what I have. And in regards to 4.5, Flecken is still there. And whoever's the starting goalkeeper for Chelsea, I know Petrovic, well, Kepa's gone. Petrovic is on the way out as well. And Chelsea are trying to sign a new goalkeeper. So will they get the spot over Sanchez? I'm not sure, but whoever it is could do very well. And yeah, Henderson and Johnston, basically the other two that I'm looking at to potentially start in that goalkeeper spot. So that's the team. I'll quickly run through it one more time. So Dean Henderson, Gvardiol, Anderson, Mikolenko, Eze, Gordon, and Cuckoo, Mo Salah as captain, Haaland vice captain, Wood, Isaac, and then on the bench, Paulson, Robinson, Winks, and Barco. So tell me your thoughts. Are you looking to do a Salah and Haaland draft or starting team? Are you choosing one? Are you choosing none? Let me know. But if you want to start both, you have the 2 best fixtures for the first 6 weeks. So you have a captain option each week. You do have to skint a little bit depending on your formation. I think 3-4-3 is my favorite this season, especially at the start. But if you want to go one, and Cuckoo can become potentially a Palmer, a Saka, which I'd probably stay away from those guys at the moment because I know the Man City boys are reported to maybe start playing in game week 3, so they might miss the first 2 games, but potentially could be someone to look forward to. But them or a Wood could go to a Havertz, to a Watkins, or you can go one of these 4.5 guys up to Trent Alexander-Arnold. So you can do whatever you want. Let me know what your starting team is in the comments. And what are your thoughts on this team? I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to keep tinkering, but I found a pretty good rotation here, and I'm pretty happy with it. So that is the side for now. And that is going to do me for this FPL video today. So give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe and hit us up on Twitter at BreakEvensPod or on the Facebook page, The Break Evens. Let me know your thoughts. I love FPL. I love that I'm creating content. There's going to be more out there. I've got a few things up my sleeve. I'm going to start looking at certain players, certain prices. So I'm really excited. And I think I said it at the start, but if I didn't, today, because this will be posted on a Wednesday most likely, but if it's not, the Break Evens League, the code will be pinned to our profile. So if you want to join the Break Evens League, make sure you do that. I think we got close to 200 people last time. I think we were about 181 people in the league last year. Let's get to 200. I'm super excited for this. So thank you all again for watching and listening. And until next time, it's bye for now.